Heroes are really fucking popular. I know that's a big statement, but I mean, that's a pretty obvious statement. It doesn't really matter where you're from or what kind of media you enjoy. People really, really like superheroes. People enjoy both the character and the journey that they pursue, and the viewer is able to look up to that hero and maybe be inspired by them. Heroes, however, have become a trope, unfortunately. They usually are idealized by people, fight for what's right, and are always fighting to become the best that they could possibly be. So what happens when a hero exists that basically diverges from these tropes? You get Saitama from One Punch Man. Saitama breaks all of the tropes of a superhero story and is able to be both a relatable character as well as having an interesting story. And I want to discuss how Saitama's portrayal in One Punch Man is able to show the problems a hero can face and how relatable they can be. One of the biggest tropes of a shonen story is how the person in particular starts out really weak and has to train to become the strongest character in the show. However, Saitama already is the strongest. He is so strong that he can defeat everyone and anyone with one punch. Hence, One Punch Man. Being able to accomplish this is reserved at the end of the show, when the protagonist has reached their full potential, but Saitama has already reached his full potential, which is so infinitely ridiculous that it's borderline parody. However, because Saitama is so powerful, it leads to him suffering from issues, which are some of the things that are actually more interesting about the show. Because Saitama is so powerful, he has no opposition in fighting villains. He is so powerful that no one can lay a scratch on him, and he defeats people so effortlessly that he admits it's actually boring. The villains are hyped up and made to look like the most dangerous foes possible, and then they're just obliterated by Saitama instantly. There's no tense battles or anything with Saitama, it's just one punch and it's over. For Saitama, he desires some sort of challenge when fighting enemies, even though he wants to help people. But not having any challenge takes fun out of being a hero. I guess a similar example would be like if you were to get a job at something you enjoy doing, like fast food. I don't know why you would enjoy that, but just use this as an example. But at some point, you become so good at flipping burgers that you think it's boring and wish there was more of a challenge. Which again, I don't know why you enjoy doing that, but you know what? Just go with it. That's what Saitama is dealing with, being so good that it's actually harmful. So the main problems that Saitama actually faces are not external problems, as in being physical or strength. He doesn't really have any limits, actually. The limitations for Saitama come from internally. Saitama is a person that has lost the desire to do what he loved doing after pursuing it, and has caused him to become indifferent to it. Being a hero has gone from a passion to pursue to a side hobby if he feels like doing it. Hell, whenever Saitama felt like there was going to be some sort of struggle against an opponent, after defeating it, he was disappointed in the fact about how lame it was. And then he just goes back to living a normal life. Despite being the strongest hero, he still really isn't recognized as one, which actually leads me to my next point. The Heroes Association. So a quick rundown of the Heroes Association. The Heroes Association is an organization of heroes that ranks individuals based on how good they are at being heroes. It's divided up into multiple tiers, if you will. C is the lowest, B and A are rank between, and S is the highest. And so basically, it's basically a tier list of heroes. One would think that Saitama would be ranked the highest due to his near invincibility, but actually he's ranked in C tier. Why is the strongest hero ranked lowest? Well, it's because despite Saitama having invincible strength, he lacks the soft skills needed to be elevated farther. So, who are the heroes that are ranked above Saitama? Well, the ones above Saitama don't really embody what a hero is supposed to be. Some of them are unskilled, some of them are immoral and narcissistic, some are selfish, and others are just fighting for their own spots in the rankings. But what do they have that the strongest hero in the world doesn't? They have the connections, the cunningness, and the overall drive to obtain what they want through whatever means necessary, while Saitama has a moral compass and wants to help others. Granted, there may be some exceptions such as Genos, but for the most part, the higher the ranking, the more amoral they become to obtain the money and the fame. However, a sad reality is that because of this, someone like Saitama will never get the recognition of being a hero because of his ranking, while people like King get the admiration and attention from the people. One Punch Man is more than just being a deconstruction of superheroes, even though yes, and actually does act like a deconstruction. When I first watched the show, I saw it more as a comedy. However, after rewatching it and analyzing it, there's more to One Punch Man than I actually thought. What I believe One Punch Man wants to accomplish is to tell a story of a person not trying to become the strongest, but actually trying to find fulfillment. Despite Saitama training and eventually becoming the strongest hero, he wasn't able to grow as a human being, and that is the biggest struggle that Saitama faces, which is also why the Heroes Association exists. It also exists as a message of sorts to show the differences between Saitama and the rest. The people ranked above him aren't as strong or morally right, but they are better equipped at playing the part of a hero than Saitama is. Saitama is a hero for fun, and does it as a hobby. How he treats it is a reason why he is ranked so low compared to the rest of the characters in the show. His entire dream was to become a hero, and now his dream has become really boring. It isn't as enjoyable because there's no challenge for it, it's just repetitive. That is the real conflict of One Punch Man. Not an external physical conflict, but an internal emotional conflict that will either end in Saitama giving up his dream to pursue something else, or really discovering how to become the best hero that you could possibly become.